Hello, everybody. Adam Bergman here, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. On today's video, breaking news, launch of the new Bitcoin ETFs. What does it mean for self-directed IRA investors? So it's a long time coming on this topic. We've been hearing about Bitcoin ETFs really for the last 11 years, 12 years. So I knew this day was going to come, just wasn't sure when. Over the last 6 weeks or so, it was getting close. We all, everyone, at least in the crypto industry, felt that this was on the horizon, but we received word Wednesday of January 10th that the Bitcoin ETF, not futures, because there were ETF futures that were on the marketplace, but these are actually spot Bitcoin ETFs, which I'll discuss in a minute, went live. And I'll give you some statistics. It was one of the largest, more than $4.6 billion of shares across 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs changed hands on Thursday. Okay. BlackRock had the largest Bitcoin ETF. Over $1 billion came in on Thursday. And then it kind of, really was assigned and allocated differently. You're looking at Fidelity Investments saw about 713 million. Kathy Wood's ARK saw about 289, and then it shrunk to Valkyrie had only 9 million and Wisdom Tree only 7 million. So it seems that other than Grayscale, which had about 2.3 billion in trading volume. So most of the Bitcoin ETF purchases were with the big boys, the Fidelities and BlackRocks, which understood. But this is a really good day and a really good week and a really good time, I think, for the Bitcoin ecosystem. More about Bitcoin than cryptos. I still think there's SEC issues with Ethereum and some of the other utility coins, which will have to play out before I think the value in those coins increase. But for Bitcoin, which is the largest cryptocurrency and the first, this was a huge, monumental day for Bitcoin enthusiasts, investors. I've been investing in Bitcoin since 2016, 15, 16. So I was really excited about this. I think this is good for cryptos, really good for Bitcoin. It's good for IRA investors. Why? Because now IRA investors have more choices. An IRA investor could still use a platform like IRA Financials with Bitstamp and buy Bitcoin and buy other coins like Ethereum and other crypto coins. And now they also can buy ETF shares personally and in a retirement account. And it's liquid. It's certainly easier. It should create more mass adoption. It should make cryptocurrency less scary for the average consumer, the average investor, which is great. It's a good thing. If you believe in cryptocurrency and you believe in the future, the technology, and how it could revamp the financial systems, it's a great day. Yeah, cryptos still have a lot of problems. There's too much fraud. The crypto exchanges, I think, need to have better controls, better oversight, and clearly more transparency in terms of insurance and protection of consumer assets. But otherwise, this is a good day. So the big thing is spot Bitcoin versus future Bitcoin ETFs. In the past, starting in 2021, you were able to buy Bitcoin futures, which basically traded on futures markets. So you didn't actually own the actual Bitcoin, right? You just traded on future prices. It was just basically a future commodity trade. With spot Bitcoin, these ETFs actually have to buy the Bitcoin, right? So there's reserves. There's actually Bitcoin. When you buy a share of Bitcoin, there is a percentage, depending on the value of that fund, they should have 1-for-1 of the purchase of those Bitcoins. Okay, so the spot Bitcoin should offer investors more comfort, more security, more protection, less chance of a hack, less chance of all kinds of financial manipulation, because the ETFs should be purchasing the Bitcoins. Now, the larger ones are custodied by Coinbase, so hopefully the security will be good as well. But it's a lot safer. We all own ETFs, right? If it's S&P 500 ETFs or gold ETFs, and with a spot Bitcoin ETF, the the ETF, the shares will actually be associated with Bitcoin. Okay, not future contracts and not promises, but actually Bitcoin. So I think, again, this is a really exciting time. We'll have to see what transpires in terms of interest. Now, the first day was great. A lot of institutional money. It's unclear how much of that was consumer versus institutional. Price of Bitcoin as of today, we're January 12th. I forgot the day. It's dropping a little bit. It's around 44, 45, which I expected. I think the price got built up to the release of the ETF. Now that the ETF is live, I think it's going to plateau, drop a little bit. But ultimately, I think it will continue to go up over the next several years. Bitcoin. I'm not talking about other coins because, as I mentioned, there's still some legal, I think, predicament and legal issues that need to be worked out with the SEC before there's more clarity on some of these utility coins like Ethereum, which I think will impact the price of those coins, and I think will stop like an ETF or other mass adoption investment products from taking shape. So again, really good thing. I wanted to talk about this, just provide my thoughts and my opinion. I'm not giving anyone investment advice to go buy Bitcoin. But from an IRA, 401k perspective, this is a good thing. It's unclear if 401k plans will be offered these ETF options. I'm sure smaller plans, yes. Bigger ones where there's more risk, liability risk, plaintiff attorney risk. I'm not sure they're going to offer employees the ability to use their 401k to buy Bitcoin ETF today. Of note, Vanguard is one of the only brokerage firms, the largest, that basically are not offering these ETFs, these Bitcoin ETFs to their customers. Fidelity is, and some of the other larger brokerage firms are as well. It's going to take time for people to feel comfortable. Listen, the crypto industry did this to themselves, whether it's FTX or some of the other bad actors. They did this to themselves, the lack of security, the abundance of fraud, the lack of controls, and the criminal theft that went on at some of these places, really hurt the industry. So it will take a lot of time to get back. But if you believe in diversification or gaining exposure to cryptos via Bitcoin, I do believe the ETF is a great investment vehicle to do so. Now, what's the downside? The big downside is you don't own the keys, right? So the idea of no keys, no cheese. If you don't have the keys to your crypto, you don't actually own them. That's fair. That's true. But through an ETF, the concept of a spot Bitcoin ETF is the ETF, the shares actually are associated with hard Bitcoin, with actual assets, not contracts. So I think there's less of a risk. IRA Financial, we are still working on a cold wallet solution that will allow our clients to get control of the Bitcoin and Ethereum, and also have it custody through IRA Financial. So it's not just pulled off an exchange, but there's a little bit more, custodian supervision of that asset, which I think, is important. So we're working on that. And I think that could be a game changer for IRA clients that want to actually own the Bitcoin, not the ETF shares, but actually own the Bitcoin, hold it, but also maintain the custody relationship, through the IRA and the IRS tax code. So that's in the queue, and that we're working hard on, and hopefully that will go live at some point soon. But otherwise, just a good day, good week. We should all celebrate. If you love Bitcoin, you love cryptocurrency, this is a really good thing. Hopefully it creates more exposure, more interest, more comfort, and more really adoption of cryptocurrency. And ETFs are just a really good way to get exposure. Whether you put $1,000 in or more, it's an easy, safe, very passive way of doing it without having to deal with exchanges. Also on the fee side, there's a range of fees anywhere from 25 basis points all the way up to a point. Grayscale does have some of the higher fees. Those will all be pushed down. That's what competition does. That's what capitalism does. Competition is good. It's going to bring down the fees, which will help us as the consumer to get exposure to cryptos at a more reasonable fee paradigm. So that's it. That's kind of what I wanted to share with all of you. If you haven't been following the news, Bitcoin ETF went live spot on January 10, 2024. And I've been celebrating. I've been having fun. I actually bought some personally. Just wanted to kind of contribute. I think it's a great thing. And we'll see what happens with other coins like Ethereum. But I do think that's kind of a little bit ways away until the SEC and the courts rule on litigation involving these Coinbase and some other exchanges that are in battle with the SEC over whether some of these utility tokens are security or not. And once that gets handled, I think the price and the market will be robust for those types of cryptos. But right now we can celebrate and enjoy the fact that there is a spot Bitcoin ETF. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just happy the day's here. It's really a great day for everyone. So a little bit of good news to start the new year, and hopefully more good news rolls in with other good rulings for cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other utility coins, and hopefully less regulation on the actual security side, more regulation on the exchanges. I always said that to me was always the issue, right? If you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or one of these utility coins, the SEC doesn't have enough, I think, faith in the American public. Like, we're not stupid. We know there's risk in buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other utility coin. We're not dumb. No one's buying these coins thinking it's a guaranteed investment home run. So that's not the issue, whether it's a security or not. We know the risk. We're smart enough to go online and read about these coins, and we know they're volatile. We get it. We're not dumb. But what is missing is the exchanges, especially U.S. exchanges, where U.S. regulators could control, whether it's someone in the SEC, CFTC, or the banking division, not just state, but federal, needs to make sure these exchanges have the necessary insurance, have the safeguards, and are providing the consumers with the necessary protection of their cryptos. That's missing, right? I always felt that a crypto exchange should be regulated like a bank. It needs to be reserves, it needs to be insurance, it needs to be transparency, there needs to be consumer protection. And that's just, unfortunately, not where it should be. So I think the SEC and the regulators are really focusing in the wrong direction. We get cryptos are risky, whether it's a security not going to make a difference. No one's reading a 200-page memorandum, PPM, or disclosure on Ethereum. We get it. We know the risks. We know what it is. We can go on the internet and read it. We're not stupid. But what we do need is protections. So an FTX would never happen, or other fraud or other issues with exchanges never transpire. That's what would give consumers confidence. That's what would help the crypto industry grow, is to have more security and more confidence by the consumer. That's why we put our money in banks, right? That's why we buy U.S. stocks, because we know they'll be protected. And wake up the next morning and our cash will be in the bank account, that the Google or Tesla shares will be there. No one's going to steal it. My stockbroker is just not going to run away with my money. That is not the case with cryptos today. So whatever happens with the SEC, I'm not so focused on that. My concern is making sure that where we buy the cryptos, these exchanges are protected and the consumer is given all the necessary protections we deserve, just like when we bank, when we buy shares on an exchange. So that's it. I want to wish everyone a happy long weekend. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and celebrate. Great week for Bitcoin, and hopefully a lot more good news for cryptocurrency industry that is coming. So question, please increase the choices to crypto portal like Solana. We're trying. This is through Bitstamp. Bitstamp has been very conservative for a good reason, right? The SEC has sued most of the major exchanges. They haven't sued Bitstamp. They've sued Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, because unfortunately a lot of the tokens they're offering, the SEC feels are securities. Not my call. I think Bitstamp has been super conservative. That's why we chose them. They put the security of themselves and their customers, number one. I get the question. You could always, through an IRA LLC, we can easily set up an IRA LLC for you, and you can buy any crypto you want in the US or outside the US. Obviously, you have to understand the risks, whether it's DeFi or whether on a US or foreign exchange. You can always do that through an IRA LLC. But we've chosen Bitstamp because they've been very cautious. They're working very closely with the SEC, and they want to make sure they're doing what's right. I believe the selection of coins will increase, but will take some time until there's more clarity from the courts on whether these tokens are security or not, which I don't think they are, personally. So I'm pretty comfortable. But I do hope that the exchanges, whether it's Bitstamp or any US exchange, is required to not just have state regulatory compliance requirements, but federal, and not just CFTC or SEC, but also through the same regulators that regulate, our banks, whether it's Citi, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or small regional banks. There needs to be proper insurance, proper compliance, proper transparency, proper reserves, and proper protection for all our assets. So we have the confidence to buy cryptos on the exchanges, hold them there, pull them off, but don't have to worry that if we get socially engineered, we're going to lose everything in 1 minute. And that just can't happen. So thank you. IRA LLC will allow me to self-custody. Listen, we can't stop you to self-custody. Right now, we're not allowing that through Bitstamp. We are working on, if you buy cryptos on Bitstamp, you can't self-custody. If you do an IRA LLC, you're the manager of the LLC, you could self-custody. Whether there's some IRS issues with that, that's unclear, that's gray. There's really not a lot of IRS guidance on the custody of cryptos. It's more on physical assets like gold, precious metals. The one argument for self-custody is that the IRS could always follow the cryptos through blockchain. So if you did a prohibited transaction, they could uncover it through blockchain, because you can easily follow and trace the direction of the cryptos and the movement of the cryptos. But for now, we're waiting for our platform to have a multi-sig cold wallet solution. But if you do an IRA LLC as a manager, you'll have more control and more flexibility to do those types of things. So thanks for those questions. Let's pray for more good news and for the crypto market to keep growing. And I'm pretty bullish on the future, more long-term than short-term. That's why I do believe whether you do investments of cryptos in an ETF, or if you're buying non-Bitcoin through an IRA, I think long-term it's worth the risk. It's obviously risky, but an IRA is a long-term horizon investment, right? If you're in your 40s or 50s or even 60s, it's a 10 to 15 minimum year investment horizon. Well, I think that really correlates very well with cryptos, which I believe has a very long upside horizon. Short term, not as exciting for me on cryptos. The next 10, 20 years, that's why I haven't sold the majority of my cryptos, even when it was high in 20 and 21, beginning of 22. I kept everything pretty much because I'm still super bullish. I'm 48. I'm looking forward to where Bitcoin and cryptos are when I'm 78 or 68, not when I'm 52. So I'm a long-term hodler. I'm going to keep hodling until cryptos go up. With Bitcoin, 100,000 is the number. If I don't see 100,000, I'm not selling a Bitcoin, or even 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Other coins, I've got out of some of the other smaller utility coins and really reallocated those funds to Bitcoin, to be honest. But that's just me. Everyone has the freedom to do as they wish. That's the beauty of the U.S. retirement system. You're free, flexible, and have the control to invest in almost anything you want, including any cryptos you want, whether through our platform and ETF or through an IRA LLC, where you can do DeFi or invest in U.S. or foreign exchange and invest in almost any coin you wish, just with the caveat. Remember the risks associated with DeFi and smaller types of coins. So that's it. Have a great long weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me, and take care.